As a massive Dungeons and Dragons nerd and a massive Castlevania nerd, this year is about to be banger for me on the on Dead by Daylight. So I played right around 4.5 hours of the PTB today. As always, it's very, very difficult getting a hold of killer games on the PTB without going into customs, and because I'm not that popular yet, and most of my community are console scrubs, we couldn't do customs. But I did get to test out a bunch of stuff. It basically test out everything. The only thing I didn't really test out was the blight changes and the new toolboxes, because I don't really care, honestly. So we're going to go down the list, and I'm filming this live on stream, as you can see by the chat. So the chat will probably throw in their opinions once in a while. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started off with talking about VECNA. The thing about VECNA is that he is, first of all, he's cool as shit. But do not expect that you're going to be able to pick up VECNA and play him immediately. You just won't. There's no shot in hell someone can pick up VECNA and know how to play him within their first, 30 games. I am not kidding you when I'm saying that this character has the highest skill floor and highest skill ceiling in the game. There is no character in this game that is harder to learn and harder to master than VECNA. All of your micro sense and your macro sense is not out the window, but it basically is only going to be a small stepping stone. Every other killer in this game, your micro and macro sense transfers to them amazingly. But if you want to get the most out of VECNA's powers, you have to be quick on your feet. You have to understand every single power. You have to know cooldown management incredibly well. VECNA's got 4 powers that he can use that you cycle through on a little wheel. You can fly really fast. That goes over windows and over pallets. But after you end the fly, there's a cooldown between flying and being able to M1. So don't think that you can just fly over a window and then instantly M1 like you're fucking Nurse or some shit. You can use Mage Hand to pick up pallets or stop pallets from being dropped temporarily. And I did find out you can use Mage Hand while survivors are dropping pallets to pick it up basically immediately and let you walk through it. You can use his orb thing to basically detect where survivors are in a straight line, and survivors can't see the orb. So they don't actually know that they've been hit by the orb until the orb hits them. And it also interacts with the magic items that survivors can have. There's basically, his power sheet is fucking huge. And the last power is this little shotgun thing that comes out of it's skeletons. There's 5 of them, and they come out in a little spread, and you can dodge them by just ducking. So VECNA is incredibly, you need to know which power to use in which situations, in which ways, and you need to understand how all of them work. On top of that, his add-ons are very, a lot of them change the way a lot of the powers work. Now his best add-on is a yellow add-on that reduces the cooldown of all of the spells by 5 seconds. So it goes from 30 to 25 seconds. And it's very, very, he's the best, he's got the potential to be the best anti-looper in the game, outside of obviously Nurse, but I mean, come on, it's fucking Nurse. Here's the problem with VECNA. Because the cooldown on his spells is so large, and because you get slowed down a lot when using his spells, it is very easy to fuck them up. And I do not believe that VECNA is higher than B. What I used to call the gatekeeper to A tier was unknown. If you were better than unknown, you were in A tier. Now I think the gatekeeper to A tier is VECNA, because VECNA sits on a very thin line between B and A. Only because his powers are so punishing if you miss. I think that when you're taking VECNA's powers into account, you need to understand that if you miss them, even in the slightest, you fucked up. You're punished heavily for missing his power. And that kind of stops him from getting up into A, because even with his high skill ceiling, even with his massive skill ceiling, even if you get good at him, his powers aren't necessarily enough to carry him into A. But it is very, very, very close. If his powers were just slightly less punishing, like the orb moved slightly faster, or Mage Hand kept pallets up for slightly longer, or the skeletons were slightly harder to dodge, if all of those were included, if it was slightly less time before you could M1 on the flight, if things were slightly buffed, just slightly buffed, he would make it into bottom of A, probably actually above Pinhead. Like very easily, probably above Pinhead. He would make it slightly in the A. But don't get it confused. VECNA's got a very high skill ceiling, a very high skill floor. You're not going to be able to just pick up and play this character at all. As for VECNA's perks, the perks for the VECNA and the BARD actually follow a very similar design philosophy, where none of the perks are good on their own, but they all have amazing synergies. So VECNA has a crow-based perk where survivors get exhausted, which is great. I've been wanting more exhaustion perks for a while for killers. Survivors get exhausted when they spook a crow. So you can synergize that with spies. Pretty good. He has a vaulting ability, or vaulting perk, that makes it to where he gets stunned and blinded for longer, but he vaults 20% faster. So that's got synergies with Superior Anatomy, Bamboozle, Legion base kit, Chucky base kit, fucking Wesker base kit, self-destruct bolt with fucking Xenomorph. It's got synergies with the Unknown perk. It's got so many fucking synergies. And then there's an item perk where after a survivor depletes an item, they drop it. And then when they go near the dropped item, you see their auras. So you synergize that with Franklin's. It's just tons of synergy. They're not perks. His perks are not built to be made by themselves. His perks are built to be synergized with other perks, which is a fantastic and very fun design philosophy that I was not expecting out of Behavior. And there's no fucking haste perks. There's haste add-ons though. Anyway, moving on to the BARD character. There's not much to talk about. First off, yes, before you guys ask, I, Kaiser de BARD, am going to be maining the BARD. Obviously, I'm not doing the male though, because I really fucking hate when fantasy stories are like, male human with a female elf. Ooh, fuck off. So I'm going to be maining the elf. But, I am also prepared. I'm not really prepared, but I am prepared for the rest of my life for people to ask me whether or not I made my name Kaiser de BARD because I main de BARD in the DBD. And no, that's not the reason, and it never has been, obviously, because my name has been Kaiser de BARD since before I even started playing Dead by Daylight as a form of content. That being said, the perks for de BARD, like I said, with in VECNA section, are very, very similar to VECNA. They're all built to synergize, not all built. Two of them are built to synergize over, actually, no. I don't think they are built to synergize, are they? No, they're not built to synergize. I'm fucked up, my bad. But they are unique, which is good, which I'm happy for. So you have one where it's kind of like an Insidious, the more I think about it. When you stand still as the survivor, you can see the aura of the killer and all generators within, what was it, chat? 16 meters, something like that. Which is pretty cool. The cool thing about it is that it procs whenever you're getting healed. So whenever you're getting healed, you're technically standing still, so you get it. Then there is the illusion perk, where after you repair 50% of a generator, you can leave an illusion on a generator, on a totem, on a chest, and I think on an exit gate, if I'm not mistaken. So you can actually trick the killer into thinking you're on one of these. Now, there is like a little illusionary effect around it. It doesn't look exactly like you, which I don't think is necessary, but it will stay there for 120 seconds, meaning that you can leave your illusion on a Jinn, book it in another direction, and then the killer would walk over, hit it, and waste time hitting it, thinking you were on that Jinn. You can also use this for gate mine games. You can go to a gate, start activating the gate, and then leave the illusion there and go to the other gate, which might make the killer think you're at that gate. There's a lot of cool stuff with it. It's not exactly powerful, but it is cool. And then finally, we have my personal favorite, Bardic Inspiration, which lets you straight up pull out a fucking loot for up to 15 seconds. And then it gives a buff for up to 60 seconds based off of a dice roll, which is hilarious. I love it. I love it so much. It's my favorite thing. We're definitely going to see 4-man squads just fucking strumming loots in a circle. There's going to be so many goddamn musical BMs at exit gates now, but I love it. I love it. It's a great perk. It's fun. It's awesome. It's amazing. Next up. Let's talk Illusion Pebble Synergy. That's great. That's great. That's a great idea, Dak. That's a great idea. Next up, let's talk about the new map, and then we'll get into some of the updates we'll get into some of the updates that this chapter is bringing. The new map is called the... Fuck, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it's got a tower in the middle, and when you go down the tower, there is a huge fucking dungeon. And there are teleport doors fucking everywhere. Some doors teleport you into the dungeon, some teleport you out of the dungeon, but teleport doors are one way, so you can't teleport through and then turn around and teleport back as like a mind game or anything. If I could coin a term, I would give maps something I like to call knowledge floors and knowledge ceilings. This map has a high knowledge floor and a high knowledge ceiling. There is so much random shit, turns and all sorts of like wild crap that are in the so like all sorts of wild crap that are that are on this map, and it is a mess. It is a fucking mess. It is so confusing, but it is so fucking cool, guys. It is so cool. I really hate that there's an outside. I've been saying we need a pure inside map for a while now. They could have just done the tower with the expansive dungeon. They didn't need to do an outside part of the map, but you know, whatever, man. It's in the Borgo realm, so if you bring the same offering that you would use to go to the Shattered Shit, then you'll go to this new map. Overall, it's really pretty. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed moving around in it. The one thing I forgot to do was go on Wraith in a custom and just like navigate it and see how it looked. That was my fault, but I've already changed from the PTB, so I'm not gonna fucking go back on that. Realistically speaking, it is probably one of the best designed maps ever. Realistically speaking, based solely off of the killer, the survivor, and the map, this is the best chapter ever made. A killer who is unique and intriguing, perks that are unique and engaging, and a new map that is really, really well designed and really, really fun to navigate. Absolutely, through and through, the best chapter ever made, based solely off of the killer, the survivor, and the map. Bit biased because you're a bard. Bit biased because of my dicks in your forehead. How about that shit? Anyway. Next up, let's talk about some of the updates. So first off, Borgo's lighting has been changed because of the new map, and because people have been asking for the red shit to be taken away. I'm hoping that they learn their lesson from this, and the next time they want to release a map, they don't give it a blood red ass coloring. But we'll see what happens, especially because Castlevania got announced, and if there's a Castlevania map, I'd have to look at the roadmap and see what's happening in August. If there's a new map announced, then Anyway, but the Borgo lighting looks good. I did enjoy it. The thing about Borgo and the new map, the new dungeon map, is that they're both extremely dark now. If you do not have reshade to brighten them, you're gonna have a rough time. They're very, 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 very dark. So I would ask that behavior maybe brighten them just a tad. Because as it stands right now, you can't see shit except for scratch marks. You can't see crap on that map, on either of those maps. Next up, let's talk about Slinger. Slinger got some quality of life buffs. He got his stun from the chain being broken reduced. He got his movement speed while ADSing increased, and he got his reeling speed increased. And holy fuck, does he feel amazing. Holy shit, the Slinger feel absolutely amazing. The reeling speed is so fast. Moving while ADS'd is much smoother, and they didn't nerf any of his add-ons. So he just gets to like straight up fucking, you know what I mean? Like he gets to just straight up like fucking go around corners at the speed of fucking light now with his ADS speed with add-ons. So yeah, he feels amazing as somebody who has Slinger as in their rotation of killers they like to play. He's just badass. He's just badass. Next up is Chucky. Now, I'm not a big Chucky expert, but I will tell you this. Scampering on windows still exists. You can still manually scamper on windows. But for me personally, I think Chucky feels better to play. I think he feels smoother. I think he feels better. And the reason for that is because now I don't have the thought of, oh, I guess I could have manual scampered, hovering in the back of my brain all the fucking time. I pulled off some really neat, interesting things now that I'm slice and dicing to scamper. And I can't wait to try my stealth build on him with the new 12-second hidey-ho cooldown. That's going to be kind of cool. So Chucky does feel better to me, but I'm not a Chucky player, so take that for what it is. Next up, we've got Bubba on the docket. The Bubba changes honestly skyrocketed him. I used to put Bubba in like C tier, lower C tier, middle C tier, because he was just so bad. It was just so easy to counter his chainsaw. If you just hugged a loop, you outran the chainsaw every time. It was just so easy to deal with him. His tantrum being 5 seconds was so goddamn long. And now, you can hug tech with Bubba. You can just hug them fucking walls, bro. You plaster yourself against those walls. You're hugging those loops tight, man. It is insane. The collision change by itself is insane. But now he's faster. The tokens recharge faster. The tantrum's not as long. Bubba's very strong now. He is minimum bottom of B tier. Like very, very minimum bottom of B tier. I would expect, Nebel is saying in the chat, I would expect to see more Bubbas when the change goes live. I would expect Bubba players are going to be extremely happy. He's lost all of his clunkiness and gained just a lot of strength. Like I said, being able to hug the loops alone is insane. Being able to hug the loops alone is insane. And finally, the perk changes. I'll say what I said during the dev update. I do not believe that the Grim Embrace and DMS changes were needed, nor do I think that the Pain Res change was needed. I don't like the pop change, but I understand it. But Pain Res needs to be left alone. It is in a perfectly fine state. You do not need to nerf both of them. I talked about this in a video a while back. I forget which video it was, but Behavior has a really bad habit of seeing perk combos that are problematic and nerfing every perk in the combo instead of just nerfing the problematic perks. The problem with the Pain Res pop combo was pop, not Pain Res. The problem with the DMS Grim Embrace combo was DMS, not Grim Embrace. So I think it's incredibly important that Behavior reverts most of these changes. Background player, needed to be nerfed. That was ridiculous. Buckle Up's nerf is fine. Some people have said that they're worried about people bringing Made for this now with the new Buckle Up nerf. You'll be fine. I don't even think, I think Made for this doesn't work with Buckle Up, if I remember, or with For the People, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'd have to retest it, but I think I heard that somewhere. You'll be fine. Oh, Weaving Spiders got buffed. I didn't get a chance to test that or Decisive Strike. I still think they're both fine. Now, the thing that I'm worried about, and something that I was talking to one of my mods about, is that they're nerfing all these gen regression perks, but VECNA didn't bring any new gen regression with him. So, we're buffing gen progression, and we're nerfing gen regression, and that's gonna feel really bad unless something gets done really soon. So, yeah. Overall, though, this chapter is fucking amazing. I am very, very happy with it. I'm very happy with how it's turned out. Playing VECNA was a blast. I was having a lot of fun. I definitely felt how hard he is to play. Even when I absolutely tried my hardest to win the game, I was kind of getting fucking fucked there. So we'll see what happens on release. I can only hope that, like I said, I think VECNA needs a slight little bit of buffs. I think that they need to revert some perk changes, and they need to brighten Borgo, the Borgo realms. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. A great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. Make sure you guys say bye to chat. I'm pointing the wrong way. Say bye to chat. And also, if you want to join me over on Twitch, make sure you're at least 18 years of older. Come check us out. We stream every single day. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And outside of that, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Castlevania! Let's go! Yes! Yes! And it's gonna happen during my birthday month! Let's fucking go! I am fucking coming right now! Yeah!